Doctors who treat Alzheimer's are taking a new approach to patients showing memory loss symptoms. They are stopping the disease from progressing. We met the Redheads, a husband and wife who both started to show signs of Alzheimer's and enrolled in a trial to prevent their symptoms from getting worse.
I was living in a town called Southport in England, going to the Salvation Army church there. And when I was about 15 or 16, a family came from Manchester.
And that often happened at church when you're a new person. They asked about, who are you? So I gave my own personal experience, and Gwen, who was not as good as she was now.
I was a little rebel.
A little rebel, that's right. So she found rather, isn't this remarkable of this young man? Eventually, we fell in love, didn't we?
That's right.
That's right. When I was a teenager, I sort of taught myself to play the piano, and then somebody who could really play helped me, and by the time I was 15, I was a very good pianist. And so I started writing some music and didn't realize, but to be honest, God gave me a gift. At this stage now, I'm 78, and unfortunately my brain is not so working quite it used to. I couldn't remember some of the things, and very quickly I began to realize I'd lost some of the thinking.
I was conscious of Robert, he's a little bit older than me, having some challenges, but then I became aware of the fact that I used to have a great capacity, particularly for memorization, drama and that kind of thing. That part of the brain still works, but the short-term memory. We had a beautiful old family doctor who retired.
Oh, that's right.
The doctor who took over the practice from him is part of a much bigger practice. We spoke to her,
yes,
and she said, would we be willing to go to the memory clinic? And we thought, let's take advantage of everything we possibly can, and we have not regretted it.
She's been a great help, so.
One
yes.
iota.
Yeah. Very nice.
Mr. and Mrs. Redhead, they came here, they were tested, and we saw that there was some memory impairment. It was mild. They went through PET scans of the brain to look for amyloid, and they actually have accumulation of amyloid plaque, which makes us feel fairly certain that their mild memory problem is related to the underlying Alzheimer's process. So Mr. Redhead is well underway. He's participating in an important study with a drug under test called aducanumab. This is a drug that draws amyloid plaque out of the brain and is hoped to be effective in modifying the course of Alzheimer's disease so people stay much more stable from a cognitive standpoint than they would without this drug.
Come on in, darling. It's more the short-term retention of information that is a challenge for them. So, they may need more reminders. My mom will use her day timer to help her guide what she's doing that day, and that will help kind of remind her of the things that she had planned to do.
I can also, on any given day, prioritize in order the items that need to be done on that day, and I would be lost without it.
I think that they have come to a place of peace and acceptance with the limitations that the memory loss brings. Certainly there are times where it can be frustrating for them in the sense that just little things are harder. So, having to pack a suitcase and go away, there's more checking that they've got everything they need. There's more worry that they might forget something. As my dad has mentioned about the music, he's still able to play, he's still able to enjoy music, he's still able to conduct.
Yes, this is the room where you so kindly say, I do my magic. This is the keyboard. I can still play the piano, but I can't create. And that I find a frustration. But it's just that the part of the brain has gone, and so I have to live with that.
I do a lot of self-talk and say, Gwen, you just be thankful that you've got the measure of cognitive ability that you do have, and physical ability for that matter.
I'm happy with my mind at this moment, at this time, although I do get frustrated occasionally because obviously some things just don't work. But in terms of the concept and the totality of it, I'm not afraid anymore.
An incredible couple. Tomorrow, we'll show you more about the redhead's trial at the Toronto Memory Program and the preventative approach to treating Alzheimer's. Coming up also on Tomorrow,